folks. Welcome to your weekly meeting. Fairly light agenda this week. We'll start with as we do with our town clerk's report, visually monitoring the heavy voting going on for the school.
Yes, that's fine. I think we've had 20 voters so far, so it's going well. So the polls are open for the referendum vote tonight from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. I don't have much because we've been busy with that. So this 2022 taxes received, we've got $9,500 more than last week and 93.8 collected. I did have a couple quick things to talk about as far as, was there any
Can you
discussion?
speak up a little
Any
bit?
discussion on M&T, moving the reserve to M&T Bank after a meeting with M&T?
We haven't.
Okay.
Have we gotten a credit card yet?
It's in the mail, they are promising me.
That will be the first thing that will maybe help us decide.
Okay, well, we can just table it until next week then.
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
wanted to know if you guys talked about it amongst yourselves at all.
Not a whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just informal.
ACO contact information, there's a problem with dispatch.
Yeah.
Anything going on with that?
I
Or
don't know. These guys probably don't know about it.
okay.
No.
The person that Debbie had spoken with about at dispatch was the Augusta, the state dispatch, state police, not Sanford. Okay.
This is for the animal
This is for
control?
animal control, yes. They agreed that they would take calls, people could call there, and then would text or call Maya with the
Ricky.
information. Excuse me, thank you, Rick. Well, first of all, that's the state and they don't do our dispatching. So they got in touch, I think Debbie got in touch with somebody at York County, yeah. And they said, no, sorry, we're not going to do that. So
Weren't they doing it?
they were giving out
Yeah.
Kristen's phone number. He was trying to stay away from having his phone number out there. So we got a couple of things to think about. First of all, he asked if there could be a town cell phone. That's a possibility.
Could we have him come in and go over this, what he'd like and what the problems are?
Well, okay, I think,
I mean, like next week or something, just...
okay. I mean, I can tell you the problems. We can
Okay.
schedule.
I read
I don't know what his work schedule is. Do you know how late he works on Tuesday?
Not sure.
He works during the day. regular
Yeah, because he
schedule.
works 10-hour days.
And then he works for
4/10s.
other towns.
Yeah. All right,
I
well,
mean, if you know all the problems, then
it's
I
just,
read the note, I got a little bit of...
yeah. Yeah, at this point, given the other options, which are that dispatch gives out his phone number, he would like a town cell phone so that he can have that number as the one that is given out.
Which he doesn't really want because he already carries 3 cells.
Well, that was what I don't mean to butt in, but we talked about that further after that all happened. And, you know, Standish has a phone for him. I think Baldwin might or whatever. So it kind of makes sense if each town paid a third for one ACO cell phone. He says that would be great. So, Sebago. Sebago gave him a phone, Standish gave him a phone, and it was much. So it's almost, he was willing to have an ACO phone and like have each town pay a
Yeah.
portion of it.
That makes way more sense.
Than having 4 phones.
Yeah.
As long as the other towns are agreeable to it, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense to me.
My guess is Standish might not be, but
Well, then we could
Sebago
split
probably
one
would.
with Sebago. I could.
Yeah.
I get a buddy on the Sebago select board. I'm sure I can text him and
Yeah?
yeah.
Do you want to do that? You want Debbie to do
No,
it?
I'll do
You
it.
do that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, yeah, find out if they're willing and what they pay,
Yeah.
because that's a
So
consideration.
then he'd be happy with just one phone for all the towns to contact him.
It seemed to be when I talked to him, yeah,
Okay.
he was like, that would be way a lot easier, because at least on the weekends, he would know if that phone rang, it's an ACO problem. I mean, instead of maybe if his son was sick. I mean,
Right.
you know, it doesn't mix your personal and professional.
Yeah.
And to kind of bounce off that, Jesse Winters is kind of in the same boat. we give out his cell phone multiple times a day, and most of the time his voicemail is clogged right up. Just something, some food for thought. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but.
Jesse told us that several months ago that he had another cell phone.
Well, I
Maybe he
talked
just
to him.
hasn't set it up.
Well, I talked to him and he said he didn't, but he needs to.
So he got rid of it too.
So whatever, I don't know, but kind of the same deal.
Yeah.
He's mixing personal with,
I mean, he hasn't relayed that to us.
well, then I'll stay out of it, but,
Well,
it was.
all I'm saying is that's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I heard something about Jesse wanting a phone, but I thought it was one of our
But
phones.
we had to ask about
Well,
it.
it was kind of both.
He kind of both.
Yeah, the handheld would be nice when he's here on Tuesdays, because we're running back and forth giving him the phone.
Yeah.
But it seemed to me when I talked to him today, there was a cell phone issue. Because he got called during Mother's Day over the weekend, and he was with his mom, and it was something to do with the CEO stuff.
Yeah.
So, geez, it's too bad that you can't differentiate the two.
Right. Well, in terms of the town phones, the cordless phones, we're at our maximum in terms of extension phones. Now, there's one in Darren's office, which he uses occasionally.
Infrequently.
Yeah. So maybe we could talk to Darren, see if that one would be available. And, I mean, if Darren needs it, he can walk down and grab it from Jesse.
The two usually aren't here together.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, logistically, that might get a little messy.
Yeah, but he can come and use one of these phones here too.
Yeah, that's quite
Or
true.
even
Yeah.
in
You guys
Danielle's
do,
office.
absolutely, while he's
Yeah.
here. I think he's not here a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and people don't call in on that. He would just need it to call out
Oh,
for some
absolutely, you
reason.
should take one of ours.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, why don't we see if Darren's okay with that and go from that. In terms of a cell phone, yeah, I don't know.
It'd be nice,
Yeah,
to have a chance to separate the
yeah.
business from,
I mean, Debbie and I talked a little bit earlier, and you can get track phones for $20 a month if you have automatic payment on them, which once we get a credit
I
card,
just
we can
don't say you
do.
get a credit card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so maybe that's an option, but we need to talk to Jesse first, I think, about that. Yeah. Okay, I'll shut up now. Enough about phones.
Okay. You're good. You're good?
All right, thank you.
Thanks. We have our bills to be signed, reviewed, paid, agendas to be approved, all that good stuff. To keep going while those are being approved, we had no ads in the shopping guide coming up. We did have some ads which we're paying for concerning, the snow plowing bids and that type of thing. We're expecting our April CEO report. Did have a workshop on our 2017 Cruiser that is being turned in. It's currently in the parking lot at town office. We have decided to put it up for sale for for $12,000. It's a 2017 Ford Explorer UT. It has 130,000 miles on it. It looks like it's in excellent shape. It would be sold as is, where is. All we can say is that we know that it's been well maintained by the Sheriff's Department. and we hope people will be interested in purchasing it. If you want to have a bidding war for it, that's fine. We'll be happy to entertain higher bids.
But you got to be here when the other person is here, because it's first come, first served.
Is this going to be a bid opening or just?
No,
sale?
no, it's for sale. First come, first served.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
And we'll be here until probably 6 tonight, so come on down.
With your $12,000.
Yeah. The last bill from the previous animal control officer for a few dollars for mileage on events on Molten Hill Road. And we mentioned that animal control, there was some concern with a new person about phones and how to get in touch with people and who contacts who. So we'll be working that out in the next week. It seems kind of logical that the animal control officer have one phone for his business. And his business happens to be 3 or 4 towns. But that would seem to be the most efficient way to handle it. There is a planning board meeting, 6 o'clock on the 17th, tomorrow, for some applications. Bob Swamp Road and Federal Road. It was mentioned that the camera hasn't shown up at the planning board meeting, so we're going to make sure that the camera is available for the planning board meeting. It's nice to have those recorded so people can feel comfortable with what's going on in the town. The auditors were, I don't want to say, we're getting caught up. I say 2 years behind, David says 2 3/4. So we're behind in our financial statements, the audit, but 2020 is done and they're working on 2021 right now. Mechanical services. Dave, can you give us some information on mechanical services?
That is a renewal of our maintenance contract. Apparently the one that we had. I don't remember when it was that it went into effect, but it was a year or 2 ago.
Yeah.
Expired. I have not looked at it. I don't know if it went up. I'm sure it did. But anyways.
Basically a visit a year for cleaning. But everything's really being in pretty good shape right now as far as filters, generators, all that good stuff. Comprehensive committee. Harvey isn't here. The March minutes. I'm assuming David hasn't had any input from the solar update.
That is correct.
As I understand, it was still number 1 on the list for
A lot of good it does us, but
hookups. But they're paying us, they're leasing the land, they're paying us the money every year.
what are they paying? Is it
I
30,000?
want to say 30.
Yeah, okay.
The Stanley Building and the Robinson Mill, really no new news on that. The Winter Road maintenance bids, as you know, open the bids. Most likely, we'll have a decision next week. We're going to be visiting 2 vendors between now and next Monday. That would be Green Shadow Properties and Richard Humphrey. Just to check on the personnel and equipment. Obviously, it's a very sensitive issue. Sensitive if the roads get plowed, sanded properly, and sensitive that we don't want to pay
I put clips
hundreds
on
of
these,
thousands of
Jesse's.
dollars.
I think they're duplicate. It's a duplicate, but I mean,
For-
yeah.
more than we have to, let's put it that way. We have a pole permit for CMP. That's it, Mudgett Hill Road. Couple going down Mudgett Hill Road, a couple of about 2,000 feet. Sockopee Rescue, which was doing an outstanding job, I think, in providing the service and giving us reports. The April report, 76 calls. 70 were covered by rescue, so only mutual aid for 6. That's good. Parsonsville had 23 calls in April. Cornish 23. And the average response time, 9.6 minutes. We've asked Mike Hatch to see if he can clarify that number for Parsonsville. That's I'm sure a very low number for Parsonsville. Southern Maine road salt. We fill out every year. They give us a good deal on salt with about 15 other communities. We wind up saving about $7,000 to $9,000 a year in the salt. Excuse me. The road commissioner's report really, the April rainstorm will not be reimbursed. York County did not reach the amount needed for reimbursement. But they're continuing with the May 11th winter storm telephone conference. So we hopefully will get something back. Echo Maine has a report on what's happening with recycling. Auburn wants to cut it down a bit. Hopefully we can continue as long as it makes sense. But the rules keep changing. Maybe, Jesse, there's a note here on Lloyd Mill Bridge. Do you know anything more about that?
What road is
As far
that?
as its signs and bridge, I mean, it needs some work apparently.
On Middle Road?
Yeah, I'm not sure, I guess.
I believe that,
Are you,
that's Middle,
Maya got the signs.
I believe,
the signs are up and Danielle went and took a copy and emailed the pictures to the engineer who has retired from there and gave his contact information. He will work with towns to help them with bridges and things like that.
But the work is all done.
Best of my knowledge, yes.
The work is done.
Well, I don't
I thought there was
There was
some,
one
I
that the
thought there was some
guardrails.
guardrail stuff issued. I thought there was some other
He
issues.
said that it was done by the plow truck this winter. It was, the guardrail was,
I don't believe
Very-
that has been fixed. I don't think that's been fixed.
that was one of the things he spoke of, that
Was that Mr. Fisher or Mr. Meyer?
Mr. Fisher, it had been hit pretty badly.
All right. So that's really, I know Jesse has some information on the Tri-Town Transfer Station.
Yeah, so starting June 2nd, the residents of Parsons Field will be able to bring construction debris, white goods, and metal to Tri-Town.
And maybe bulky one.
No.
No, not
Ed.
yet. No.
They're pending. They're going to come up with other aspects that we may be able to use, but which they probably will, but not yet. So those three things will be open June 2nd. You'll need to come to the town office. Say you have a refrigerator you want to get rid of, you come to the town office. We'll give you a permission slip, so to speak, with a town stamp on it.
In the cost.
And the costs, so you know what the costs will be before you go to Tri-Town, and the stamp will prove that you're a Parsonsfield resident, because this is only opening to Parsonsfield, aside from the Tri-Town, obviously.
Yeah.
But you won't be able to give a cost on construction materials and things like that.
Yes, they're supposed to email you.
Per ton,
No, it's per pound.
per pound?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not as much as steak, but it's not
Okay.
far off. So anyhow, we should definitely have those prices when you come in to get your slip to go. So if you have old refrigerators or freezers or construction debris, yeah, you're now available. Now Tri-Town is going to be open to us, which I think is great. So I guess that's what I have to say.
Do you know who's going to charge the free on charge with?
No, we're not doing any
We're not
charging.
taking any
No, we're not
money.
taking any money.
All right.
People will know what they're going to pay for that when they come here, so they know what to take with them to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And there's scales down. It's a very fair system. There's no guessing anymore. It used to be guessing on how much you had on your truck and this and that.
Right.
There's a set of scales down there. You drive on the scales. If you have construction debris, you dump it off, throw it off. If you have a dump body, you can dump it into the bin. If you don't, you have to throw it into the bin and drive back through the scales, and away you go.
So, gotta pay first.
Pay, yes.
Maybe we should note, we will still have our
Correct.
white goods every year as we have.
This is going to
It's just
benefit
up
you
to you.
if you don't want to look at your refrigerator for 9 months,
Yeah,
or however long it is until the
right.
white goods pick up.
And it may be a couple of dollars more at Tri-Town.
Yes. Okay.
Dave, do you have anything?
Sure. If you recall, we sent out letters to tree growth property owners a couple of months ago that were behind on their renewals, some of them as much as 12 years, I believe, behind. Yeah. I think there were 35 that we sent, 35 letters. All but 6 have taken care of what they need to do. So we'll now have to start the formal process of how we inform them, and there's a penalty involved, not immediately, but downstream if they don't comply within a certain period.
Like a certified letter type procedure?
Yeah. See, the first letter that we sent was very informal, and you have to send a letter before you send a certified letter. I don't know if our letter met that criteria, so I'm going to have to look at that. If it did, great. Then we'll send a certified letter. I think it's 120 days after the fact, so I'd have to look and see exactly when we sent them. The generator, I have completed the Ethernet cable installation going out to our generator so that we can monitor the generator from a computer here in the office. And I'm waiting for Jim at PowerPoint to come out. He has to get a code out of the generator, which I don't have access to, and that'll let us communicate with it. The 2 phones we talked about, and then the AED you talked about. I guess that was on the agenda. Kind of anxious. I think maybe we should get in touch with Mike and find out.
Yeah, aren't they gonna do, we can do CPR courses, right? We're gonna do
Yeah,
more.
oh, that's right. CPR courses. I was supposed to talk about that last week. Sorry. Thank you for noting. But anyways, the AED, they were going to loan us one if ours couldn't be fixed right away or something, and
Yeah.
we haven't heard back from them. It's been a couple of weeks now.
Because we did purchase that from them.
That one is ours. The one that we had is ours, yes.
No loaners.
No, well, no, just a loaner in the meantime.
No, but I mean, we purchased
Right.
$100 or whatever it
Yeah.
was for them.
Yeah. The CPR class was basically something that they would teach, I think, well, it would have to be here. And they would reduce the price from, I think, $500 to $350 for up to 12 people is what I recall. And so it'd be primarily for employees, but if we didn't fill those 12 slots, which we probably won't, then maybe we could open it up to others. I'm just talking now, so I don't know about that. So we'll pursue that and see
So
where
we
that
could get
goes.
pretty close to 12 if, you know, Meyer and Jeff and
Yep,
Rick and
right,
the other Jesse and, you know.
yeah. Yep. And that's the end of my list. Thank you.
We have a little bit of good news. In talking to the current director at West End Camp and our superintendent of schools, basically a plan is being developed where a couple of needy residents or qualified residents or people who, what,
9 people. 9 viewers, Ed.
9? Not viewers now, listeners.
Okay. Well, they view it.
They're viewing and listening.
I think that's more than I've seen at one time.
No, well, that's good.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nancy's in doing.
Yeah, so, well, she might be watching it on her phone. Anyways, sorry. Didn't mean
That's
to interrupt.
okay. So anyways, West End Camp has said a couple of students from Parsonsfield, ages roughly 10 to high as 15, a week or two. That we would like the superintendent to nominate a couple of worthy, right now boys, but a couple of worthy students, and get in touch with West End Camp. West End Camp will talk to the people, make sure they're comfortable with their kids going, whatever, and hopefully we can send a couple of Parsonsfield kids to the camp that they wouldn't have a chance to attend.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, we think we drove everyone away. Jeff was here for a minute and left. I guess he was discouraged. Harvey didn't bother to show up, so,
Oh, he came earlier. Came and left.
well, he was
Yeah, I don't think it was.
he was voting,
Yeah.
one of our 20 voters.
Yeah.
So anyone has anything else, more or less? Okay, that's too bad. Thank you, folks.
Brownies.
Thank you.
All right.